All right, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening to you all. Hope you're doing well. We start a brand new 3-game series. This one against the San Diego Padres, a National League West opponent of the Rockies. In the Action PC replay, the Padres are in first place in the West at 22-14. And of course, in our replay, the Rockies are 14-23, which is still 8 games better than what they were real world at this point. They were 6-29 real world at this point. So our starting pitchers for today's game for the Padres, right-hander Randy Vasquez and right-hander Antonio Sensatella. What I like to do when we have a new group, a new team coming aboard, is let you know who's on the roster at the moment, who's available, who's not. We'll go through the starting lineup first for the Padres. Leading off and playing right field is Fernando Tatis. Batting second and playing first base, Luis Arraez. Hitting third and playing third base, Manny Machado. Batting cleanup in center field, Jackson Merrill. Hitting fifth at shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Hitting sixth at second base, Jake Cronenworth. Hitting seventh at DH is Gavin Sheets. Batting eighth, left fielder Jason Hayward. And batting ninth, the catcher, Martin Maldonado. On the bench for the Padres, they do have 4 bench players. 1 left-handed hitter, 3 right-handed hitters. The lefty off the bench is Tyler Wade. The righties are Jose Iglesias, Brandon Lockridge, who will later go to Milwaukee, and the other catcher, Elias Diaz. So that's the bench for the Padres. In their bullpen, they have 7 pitchers, 3 lefties and 4 right-handers. Lefties are Adrian Morajan, Wandy Peralta, Yuki Matsui. The right-handers are Sean Reynolds, Jeremiah Estrada, Jason Adam, and their closer, Robert Suarez. So those are the available guys for the Padres. If you didn't see them listed right there, that means they're not on the roster, and you won't see them in this game, maybe not even in the series. Depends on if roster moves are made within the series or not. And since we haven't done anything with the Rockies in a while, as far as roster and so forth, I'll go ahead and show them as well. Leading off in center field is Brenton Doyle. Batting second and left field, Jordan Beck. Hitting third at third base, Ryan McMahon. Batting cleanup is catcher Hunter Goodman. Hitting fifth will be first baseman Michael Tolia. Hitting sixth in right field, Mickey Moniak. Batting seventh at shortstop, Kyle Farmer. Hitting eighth as the DH is Nick Martini. And batting ninth is second baseman Adele Amador. So fortunately, all players in the starting lineup are carded. On the bench for the Rockies, they have backup outfielder Sean Bouchard, backup catcher Jacob Stallings, and we have a nameless player to account for both Trejo and Miller, their second base and shortstop backups. And in the bullpen, they only have 1 left-hander, which has kind of hampered them all year as far as trying to play strategy, and that's Scott Alexander. He will later go to San Francisco. Their other relievers, Juan Mejia, Tyler Kinley, Jimmy Herget, Angel Chavilli, Jake Bird, Zach Agnos, and Seth Halverson. So that's who the Rockies have available in this ball game. So if you didn't see anybody there, if you're expecting to see somebody and you didn't, it's because they're not there. And hello, Paul, and hello, Joel. See both of you. Hopefully it wasn't too big of a thing to pull you away from the Apasaka unboxing. But we are ready to get going here. Antonio Sensatella. On the replay, he's 1-4 with a 6.37 ERA. Real world, he was 4-15 with a 6.65 ERA. He will be on the mound, and he'll be taking on Fernando Tatis, right fielder for the Padres. He will lead things off, and we are underway from Colorado. 2-7 for Tatis, and that's a walk. Typical Rockies pitching starts out with a walk. Sensatella is a -1 on his hold. He's a -2, and Goodman's a +1. Tatis, to get a lead, needs a 2 through 5, an 11, or a 12. 2 through 5, 11, or 12. And that's an 11, so he will get the lead. He's a 19, being held to 17. The -1 is a 16. 1 to 16, he will steal it. And he does, right on the number. So Tatis barely gets in there, but he steals second base. He's in scoring position. And that'll bring up Luis Arias, first baseman. It's a 4-11 for the lefty, and that's a ballpark single check, which is almost automatic at Coors Field with that 1 to 19. And it is a base hit. So runners are at the corners now with nobody out. Arias is going to look to get a lead as well. He needs a 4 or a 5, and he gets it. He's going to go. 17 being held to 15, -1 to 14. 1 to 14, he steals it. And he does. So Arias steals second base. Second and third, nobody out for Manny Machado. Hello, Craig. Good to see you. Manny Machado. Infield for the Rockies is going to play in. They want to see if they can choke a run off. That's a 1-3, and that's another ballpark single, so almost guaranteed again for Coors Field. That's an RBI single for Machado. Scoring is Tatis, and going to third is Arias. And now Machado will look to get a lead. He needs a 4 or a 5. And this time he does not get the lead, so he will hold. For center fielder Jackson Merrill, infield playing for the double play. 5-5, lefty. That's a walk. That's the second walk issued by Sensatella. And that's going to load the bases. So Rockies off to a, pardon the pun, rocky start here. Xander Bogaerts with the bases loaded and still nobody out. That's a 1. Sensatella's wild pitch is a 13. And he uncorks the wild pitch. So Arias will score. Machado will take third. Merrill will take second on the wild pitch by Sensatella. Now the infield is going to come in against Bogaerts. 4-3. It's a fly ball right field X. Moniak's a 3-11. 3-19, he'll get to that, and that should be an F3 where a run can't score. 3-19 is an F3, so the runners will have to hold. Moniak's an E11, so he has to avoid 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. And 11 is just fine. So he makes the play. The ball was not hit deep enough. So just a shallow fly to right, 1 away. And here's Jake Cronenworth. Infield still in. Hello, Robert. I'm doing very well, Robert. Thank you very much. Hope you are as well. And it was a very fun game this morning. Jake Cronenworth is up. The infield still in with 1 out. And that is a 2-6 for Cronenworth, and he struck him out. So Sensatella trying to salvage this inning and keep it to 2 runs. And now the DH, Gavin Sheets, is up. First base is open, but he's already walked 2 this inning. So if you load the bases, you're really playing with fire. So I guess they're going to go ahead and pitch to Sheets. Infield is back to normal, but with 2 outs. But the clutch result, he will gain a hit. 3-3 will Sheets. It's a 1-5, struck him out. So Sensatella bowing up and getting himself back together. Limits the damage to 2 runs. We go to the bottom of the first. It is Padres 2 and the Rockies coming to bat. And on the mound for the Padres, Randy Vasquez. Randy Vasquez, 6-7 with a 3.84 ERA in 26 starts. And he's been given a 2-0 lead to work with. He'll be facing Brenton Doyle. That's a 5-2. That's a ballpark blast. That's a 1-9 for Doyle to get things started with a bang. And he doesn't. He just flies to left. So that's 1 away for Jordan Beck, left fielder. 2-2 for Beck, and that's a ballpark blast. So we've got another chance on a 1-9. And again, it's just a deep fly to left. So they're getting the bad rolls on the D20. And here's McMahon. 3-7, and that's a 1-10 double. And 11-20 flies to center, and he will fly to center. So, boy, Three high numbers on the D20 cost the Rockies a whole bunch right there. They come away with nothing. Could have been potentially 2 home runs and a double had the D20s been a little bit kinder, but they weren't. Hello, Joe. Well, good. A pitiful baseball game is better than a good soccer game any day. All right, here is Jason Hayward. 3-6 for Hayward, and that's a fly to right field. One down, and that'll bring up Martin Maldonado. I'm just happy I don't have to use any nameless players right now. Here's Maldonado. 4-3. That's a fly ball right field. That's again, we're looking at Moniak. 3E11. 3-14 is good. E11. That is a 12. I think he's going to be okay with that. E11, there's a 13, but no 12. So Moniak will make the play. 2 down for the top of the order in Fernando Tatis. 5-9, and that's a strikeout. So Sensatella really working things out as he came along. Just got off to a rough start. Gotta hope this team can score him some runs. Bottom of the second we go. Vasquez stepping to the plate. And I should have looked up to see who won this game real world. And I forgot to do it. So I'm going to take a quick second just to pop into score thing here and see who actually won this game in the real world. I believe it was San Diego. Yep, San Diego won this game 13-9 real world. 13-9 was the real world score. All right, here is Hunter Goodman. 6-4, and that's a ground ball third base X. We're looking at Machado. He's a 2E18. 2-2. That's going to get through for a base hit, I believe. Yes, it will. 2-2 is a single. So that's a base hit. His error rating is an E18 at third. He's got to avoid 3-11, 15, 16, and 17. And that's a 16, so I believe that's going to be an error on top of it. 18 and a 16 is a 2-base error on Machado. So we have a single by Goodman and a 2-base error on Machado. Puts Goodman at third base with nobody out. And with a 2-0 lead, the Padres will play the infield back for Michael Toglia. 3-3, and that's a split. 1-6 is a single. 7-20, he will line it right to Cronenworth. And this time the D20 is in their favor. It's a base hit. Scores the run. Right now it's an unearned run, but depending on what happens the rest of the inning, it could turn into an earned run. But more importantly, the Rockies are on the board, cutting the lead to 2-1. And here comes Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 4-7, and that's a single and a 1. Anything else, he lines it to Cronenworth. And that's a line drive to second base. One away for Kyle Farmer, the shortstop. 6-2, ground ball first base X. Arias is a 4E1. Interesting combination there. 4, and that's a 1. So that's going to be a base hit, probably a 2-star single, and it is. It's a single 2 stars. That'll put Toglia at third base. As an E1, the only error he can make is a 17 or an 18. And he avoids that. So no error, but it is going to be a base hit. Now runners on the corners with 1 out for DH Nick Martini. Infield for that's a 2. Infield for the Padres playing for double play depth. Let's see here. 2, we're looking at either a balk or a pass ball. That's going to be a pass ball chance on the catcher, Mr. Maldonado. His pass ball rating is a 7. So 1-7, we have a pass ball and a run scores. It's a 9, he's able to block it. So here comes Martini. 3-8 from Martini. Fly ball left field B. This is a potential sacrifice fly. Certainly not guaranteed. Hayward is a -1 arm. The runner on third, Tolia, doesn't run all that well. He's an 11. But with the B question mark, you add 2 makes it a 13, but that -1 makes it a 12. So 1 to 12, he would score. 13 to 20, he would be out, and the inning would be over. So 1 to 12 is 60%. That's much better than the percentage that Amador would have to get a base hit. So we're going to send him. It's a 1 to 12 to make it a sacrifice fly and tie the game. 13 to 20, he's going to be out. And he's in there. Sacrifice fly. Scoring is Tolia. And because of these 2 singles, that makes this run earned. So 2 runs come in. Runner still at first in Farmer, and Adele Amador, the batter. 5-6, switch hitter batting left. That's a walk. And the inning will continue. First walk issued by Vasquez. So clutch situation now for Brenton Doyle. In the clutch, he will gain a hit on 2-8. He narrowly missed a home run on a ballpark blast his first time up. 6-9, and this is the in-home run chance, 1-9, same as the one for the ballpark, but the difference is now it won't be an out. It's going to at least be a double, worst case scenario. But 1-9 is a 3-run home run. And it's a 10, what do you know? So it's going to be a double for Doyle. Scoring is Farmer. Let's see about Amador. He's a 13. Not being held as a trail runner is a 14. +2 for the 2 outs is 16. And the double is assumed to go to center. And Merrill's a -2 arms. So that would be a 1 to 14. But if you throw through, Doyle gets third. I still think they got to throw through. They can't just give up cheap run. So 1 to 14, they're going to send him. 1 to 14, he's safe. And he's out at the plate. What a throw by Merrill and Bogarts. So we're going to call that 8-6-2 to gun down Amador at the plate to end the inning. But 3 runs score for the Rockies, and they take a 3-2 lead. And they hand that lead to Sensatella and see if he can stand to keep that lead or pitch with that lead. I did send him, Robert. It just didn't work. We rolled a 17. What are you going to do when you roll D20s like that? That's all we can say. And hopefully the sound is still okay. All right, here's Arias. 6-6, and that's a single for Arias. And Arias stole a base in the first inning. He's going to try to get the lead again. Needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. That brings up Manny Machado. 2-6 for Machado, and that's a walk. Third walk issued by Sensatella, and he's digging himself a hole already here in the third inning. Here is Jackson Merrill. 1-6 for Merrill, and that's trouble. 1 to 13 is going to be a 3-run home run. 14 to 20 will be a triple. And that is gone. Jackson Merrill, a 3-run home run, and the Rockies' lead was short-lived. 3-run home run from Jackson Merrill makes it a 5-3 ball game. Merrill had 16 home runs real world, and he went deep there. So here's Xander Bogaerts, 3-7. And that's another walk. Boy, Sensatella just issuing those free passes left and right. And Bogaerts is going to try for the lead. Needs a 4 or a 6. Doesn't get it. Here's Cronenworth. Still nobody out. 1-6 is a strikeout. He definitely needed that. 1 away, and here comes Gavin Sheets. Oh, cool deal there, Represent. I'm glad you got your hands on that game. I love the Barnes & Noble version. I like the fact that it's square and not rectangle. I like the fact that the players came in bricks of 3 instead of bricks of 9. And Yeah, I really in the chart the advanced. If you play advanced, I like the advanced charts being a little bit more condensed. Just a whole. I hope Strat goes to that full time for their game uh, parts, but we'll see. Gavin Sheets 3-6, and that's a home run for Gavin Sheets. 1-14, 15-20 is a double, and that's gone too. And now the bullpen for the Rockies starts to get up in earnest, as that is now a 5-run inning. It's now 7-3, favor of Padres. Bullpen activity for the Rockies. And let's see who they've got that they're going to go to. They're going to go to Angel Chaville. He's loosening, but they're going to see if Sensatella maybe can get him through the inning. He's facing the bottom portion of the order. 3-5 for Hayward, struck him out, strikeout number 5. Now here's Martin Maldonado. 2-10, and he got him to ground it to short, and that's going to end the inning, and that's going to be the end of the night for Sensatella. He's going to go 3 innings and give up 7 runs. And a lot of almost every, except for one of the, out of the 4 walks, 3 of them scored. So walks were definitely a bugaboo for him. So 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 hits, 3, 4, 5 hits. He only gave up 5 hits. They gave up 7 runs because of the 4 walks that went with the 5 hits. He did strike out 5. And Chaville will be on to pitch in the next inning. He can go 2 innings of relief if need be. But that's going to be all for Sensatella. His day is done. It's 7-3 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. And all of a sudden, Vasquez has a huge lead to work with. Cool deal. I prefer Action PC over Digital Diamond, but Digital Diamond, certainly nothing wrong with that. They do just as well. I just like the way Action PC does a little bit better, but they're both excellent choices. Here is Jordan Beck. That's a 4-5, and that's a fly to left. I'm using Action PC to keep stats in this replay, keep track of what the Rockies are doing. Here's Ryan McMahon. 6-7, that's a walk. First walk, second walk actually, issued by Vasquez. And here's Hunter Goodman. Goodman, 5-8. That's ground ball second base X. This could be a double play. They were not holding McMahon on. So Cronenworth will keep his 3 for his range. 3-5. That might be interesting. 3-5 is going to be a G3. The pound's there, but he wasn't holding the runner, so the G3 is going to stand. His only play is to first. E15, he's got to avoid 14, 17, and 18. 15, he barely does, so he makes the play. Going to second is McMahon, but now there are 2 outs. Clutch situation for Tolia. Tolia in the clutch against righties. Looks like he's completely neutral. 2-9, and he struck him out. That is the first strikeout, actually, for Vasquez. But at the end of 3, it is 7-3 Padres. And now Angel Chaville will make his way into the ball game. Joe, the way I do it is I do it like I learned this from a Clee baseball fan. And what he does is anytime it's a ground ball C or a ground ball X, then I count it as a 3-1 put out. If it's a ground ball A or ground ball B, I count it 3 unassisted. There's nothing in the rule book about it. It's just a homebrew, and that's how we figure it out. Just like I know some people count strikeouts looking if they're on the pitcher card and swinging if they're on the batter card or vice versa, but I don't keep track of strikeouts. As far as swinging and looking, I just keep strikeouts, period. So coming on for the Rockies, Angel Chaville, 1-5, 7.06 ERA for Angel Chaville. And let me see if I can get the stats on Shavigi on the replay. Let's see if I can go to that really quickly. Come on, give me roster here. Now the Action PC game wants to act up, is not responding. So okay, never mind. We won't worry about it then. So let's see, Fernando Tatis taking on Shavigi, and he could go 2 innings. He's got a fatigue of 2 there. And Tatis, the only guy not to bat last inning. That is a 2-7, and that's going to be a walk. So once again, more walks are on the way from Rocky pitching. And Shavigi is a 0 hold, so that makes him a +1. So that means Tatis is going to look to get the lead. He needs a 2 through 5, 11, or 12. Doesn't get it, he'll hold. And here's Arias. 1-8, and that's a 1 to 12 single. Anything else, he lines it to Mr. Amador at second. And that's a base hit, 1 star. Puts runners at first and second. And here come the Padres again, looking to rack up some runs. Here's Machado. 4-7, and that is a 1 to 17 single. 18 to 20, he grounds to third. And that'll be another single, 1 star again. Bases are loaded against Shavigi with nobody out. And here comes Merrill, hit a 3-run homer his last time up. Now he's up with the bases loaded. That's a 2, balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball chance on the catcher, Goodman. And his pass ball rating is only a 1. So no pass ball. Infield looking for the double play. That's a 2-9, and that's a strikeout. So a big strikeout there for Shavigi. And that is 1 away. Now double play would get him out of the inning. They could use one of those Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double plays right about now. 6-2. It's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Moniak. He's a 3. 3-18. That might be deep enough to not score the run. 3-18 is an F3, so it is shallow enough not to score the run, assuming there's no error. He's an E11. He's got to avoid 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. And that's a 13. That will be an error. So as an E11, 13 is a 2-base error on Moniak. And what should have been 2 outs and the bases loaded will now be a 2-base error that brings in 2 more runs and moves Merrill to third base. And now that brings up Cronenworth. Runners at second and third, 1 out. Infield's going to have to come in. It's a 1-6, and that's a strikeout. Got number 2. Now it's a clutch situation. Even though it scores 9-3, it's still a clutch situation by rule for Gavin Sheets, who homered his last time up. It's a 4-5, and it's a fly to center to end the inning. So 2 runs come in. They were all unearned. So 2 unearned runs, but they count the same on the scoreboard. And it's 9-3. And this is definitely getting out of hand here in Colorado. Here's Mickey Moniak. Made that 2-base error. 2-9, and he's going to line it to short for Bogarts. 1 away for Kyle Farmer. 3-2 for Farmer, and that's a low max. Nobody else is on base, but he lines it to Cronenworth for out number 2, and here comes Nick Martini, DH. That is a 5-10. 5-10 is a ground ball shortstop X. Bogarts, he's a 3-E10. 3-4, this might get through. Let's see, 3 and a 4 is a single, so it will be a base hit. His error rating is an E10, so he's got to avoid 16, 17, and 18, which he does. But it will be a 2-out single from Martini. And that brings up Adel Amador. That's a 1. Wild pitch on Vasquez is a 4. No wild pitch. And here comes Amador. 3-7, and he grounds it to short to end the inning. So 4 innings are in the books. We go to the 5th, 9-3. Shavilli will come out for a second inning of work. Will Shavilli. Bottom of the order, Hayward, Maldonado, and Tatis. 1-8 for Hayward, and that is a fly to center. So the bottom 2 are now 0 for 5. But all the hitting's going on up here. And Cronenworth, by the way, has got the hat trick, 3 strikeouts. That's unusual as well. He's a pretty good hitter. Here's Martin Maldonado. Whoops. Maldonado, 4-6, struck him out. 3rd strikeout for Shavilli. And here's Tatis. He has walked twice and struck out. 3-10, and that's a ballpark blast. 1-9 is a home run for Tatis. And it's going to be a fly to left to end the inning. So Shavilli goes 2 innings, and he might try to go 3 because they really need some depth out of that bullpen. He's given up 2 runs, but they were unearned, so he's still going to try to go a 3rd inning. Vasquez, this will be his fatigue inning, number 5. He's got to complete 5 innings to earn the win. Top of the order, Brenton Doyle. There's a 4-7, and that's a strikeout. The dot's there, but he has not reached the fatigue yet. 1 away for Jordan Beck. That's a 6-10, and that's a line out right to Cronenworth, 2 down. So Vasquez may end up pitching into the 6th as well. Why not? He's got a big lead. There's McMahon, 3-4, and that's a home run, 1-17, double 18-20. And McMahon goes deep, solo shot, just to give the fans something to cheer about. Cuts the lead to 9-4, and that brings up Hunter Goodman. 4-11, and that's a fly ball left field X looking at Hayward. He's a 2-3 for Hayward. 2-3. 2-4. This could drop. 2-4. No, it's an F1. He'll barely get to it. His error rating is a 3, so he's got to avoid 3, 15, and 18, which he does. That's a 5. So with nobody on base, there are no rare plays, basically. F1 rare play with nobody on base. I don't think anything comes out of that. Yeah, everything with the rare play deals with runners on base and really nothing happening there. So fly to center. Rockies get a token run. We go to the top of the 6th, and Shavilli will come back out and try to burn another inning and save that bullpen since the starter only went 3 innings. Here's Arias. 4-3. That's a ballpark blast. 1-9. He's got weak power, though, so the best he could do is a single. And it is a single for Arias. He is 4 for 4, 4 singles in the game for Arias. And he's going to look to run. Needs a 4 or a 5. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. Here's Machado. 3-7, and that's a fly to center. 1 down, and that will bring up Jackson Merrill. Walked, homered, and struck out. 6-7, lefty, and that's a 1-8 double. 9-20 is going to be a single, 2 stars either way. And that's a single, 2 stars. Runners on the corners for Xander Bogaerts. Infield will look for that double play. 3-8 for Bogaerts. He pops him up to short, so that will help a little bit. 2 down, and now here's Cronenworth. And he's 0 for 3. And what do we do here? You know what? They're going to take Shavilli out and go their one left-handed reliever, Alexander, to face some of these lefties that are coming up. So Scott Alexander will be coming on. Shavii will go 2 2/3, and will finish his numbers at the end of the inning. Right now, Alexander is on. He is a 0 for his hold. So bases, first and third, 2 outs, clutch situation for Cronenworth. And in the clutch, Cronenworth will gain a hit, 3-10. 4-5, and that is a ground ball to second to end the inning. So now we can close the book on Shavii. He gives up 2 runs. They were unearned. And let's see how many. Let's see. He walked 1, struck out 3, and he gave up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. Alexander will stay in to pitch to Sheets and Hayward coming up that are left-handers, so we'll leave him in the game. Bottom of the 6th, and Vasquez back out. They're gonna see if they can get 6 innings out of him before they go to the bullpen. Here's Tolia, 2-6 for Tolia, and that's a 1-2 single. Anything else he grounds to short, and he will ground it to Bogarts, 1 away. For Moniak the Maniac, he's 0 for 2, a couple of lineouts. That's a 1-11 rather, and that's a split. 1-4 is a single. 5-20 would be a third line out, and he's lined out 3 times. For Kyle Farmer, 5-8, and it's a ground ball second base X. Cronenworth with 3 E15, 3-5. See if he can get to that. I think he will. 3-5 is a G3, so he'll get there. E15 at second base. He's got to avoid 3, 14, 15, and I'm sorry, 3. He's an E15. He's got to avoid 3, 14, 17, and 18. And that is a 14. I think he just made an error. He is an E15 at second base, and the 14 is an E1 right there. So Cronenworth will boot it, E4. Second error on the Padres. And let's see here. Rockies have the 1 error, the 2-base error. And now Nick Martini. It's a 3-9 for Martini, struck him out, and that's going to do it for Vasquez. He's going to go 6 innings. Try to stay true to 2025 modern baseball. They got 7 relief pitchers. They might as well start using them. So Vasquez goes 6 innings, gives up 4 runs. They're all earned. He gives up, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. He walks just 2, and he strikes out 3. And of course, he's in line for the win. And Sensatella is looking to drop to 1-5 and have his ERA skyrocket. So top of the 7th, Alexander back out. He faced the 1 batter there, and now he's going to get to face Cronenworth. I'm sorry, not Cronenworth. Should be Sheets. Gets to face Sheets and Howard, 2 lefties coming up. 2-10, and that is a ballpark single check. That's bad news. 1-19, and there's your base hit, courtesy of Coors Field. Ends up Jason Hayward. That's a 5-12 lefty. That's a ballpark blast. Jason Hayward has weak power though, so it's only going to be a single if it's good. 1-9 for the single. 15 though, it's a fail, so it's a fly to right. 1 down for Maldonado. 6-4, that's a fly ball center field X. Doyle is a 1. 1 and a 4 is still going to be an F2 where the runner can't advance. So he's an E3. The only errors are 3, 16, and 18. And so Doyle will make the catch for 2 away. And they're going to see if Alexander can finish the inning facing Fernando Tatis. Sheets at first, 2 away. That is a 1-3, and that's a ground ball first base C. So if somebody was asking about that, I count that as a 3-1 put out when it's a ground ball C. So that'll do it. Alexander's actually going to go an inning and a third without giving up a run. That's a miracle for him. Gives up the one hit, and that's it, nothing else. And the Rockies will need a new pitcher for the 8th inning. Not sure who that's going to be just yet. But right now, we're leading to go to the Padres for their bullpen. In case you weren't here earlier when I showed these, they have 3 lefties in the bullpen. Matsui, Peralta, and Morajan are the 3 lefties in their bullpen. The 4 right-handers, they have Jason Adams, Jeremy Estrada, Sean Reynolds, and the closer, Robert Suarez. So with what's coming up, they're going to a righty out of the bullpen, and they're going to go to Sean Reynolds. He's got 2 innings of relief work available to him. He's not very good, but they're up 9-4, so they got some breathing room to use him. He is a +2 on his hold. But Reynolds, for San Diego, Sean Reynolds, 0-1 with a 5.33 ERA. And he'll be in to face Amador, Doyle, and Beck here in the bottom of the 7th of still a 9-4 ball game. 6-6 lefty. That's a walk. Leadoff walk. And he's got a lot of walks on his card. He walked 17 batters in 27 innings. Struck out 25, so he's got a lot of strikeouts, but he also has a lot of walks. So Amador is aboard with Brenton Doyle. 3-4 for Doyle, and that's a walk. That's off the batter card, though. But it counts all the same. First and second, nobody out for Jordan Beck. That's a 5-12, and that's a walk. So Reynolds is going to walk the bases loaded. And the Padres aren't going to stand for this too much longer. They're going to go to the bullpen very quickly. They got a guy warming up already. They are looking at, what are they looking at here? They are looking at Jeremiah Estrada loosening the bullpen because Sean Reynolds has walked 3 in a row. Start the inning. Bases are loaded, nobody out for Ryan McMahon. 1 long ball, and we got ourselves a new game. McMahon, speaking of long balls, hit 1 last time. 2-6 for McMahon, but he struck him out. So that's 1 away. For Hunter Goodman, and this is the inning the Rockies need to make hay. This is their best chance to try to close the gap. They don't do it here. They pretty much need to cash it in. 2-6, and that's something they can cash in right here. 1-7 is a triple. 8-20 is a single. And that's a triple for Hunter Goodman, a base-clearing triple for Goodman. And that's going to do it for Reynolds. And actually, it won't be Estrada. They'll go to the left-hander with the switch hitter and lefty Moniak coming up. But a base-clearing triple from Hunter Goodman. All of a sudden, it's a 9-7 game. Goodman had 5 triples on the real season, and that's it for Reynolds. He just couldn't get it done. Sean Reynolds only went 1/3 of an inning, walking 3, striking out 1, giving up 1 hit in the 1/3 of an inning. But right now, he's giving up 3 runs, possibly 4. And so the Padres now will go to a lefty out of their bullpen, one of the lefties, and they will go to Adrian Morajan. Comes out of the bullpen. Morajan, 13-6 with a 2.08 ERA and 3 saves for Morajan. As this has gotten tighter than the Padres wanted. And Michael Toglia, switch hitter, will turn around bat right-handed. Infield is in for San Diego. They don't give up that cheap run. 1-2, and that's a fly ball right field question mark. Tatis is a -3 arm, so this could hurt. Goodman's only an 11. +2 is a 13, but then the -3 is a 10. It'd be a 50-50 shot to score him. So that's still better than average. That's better percentage than what the next batter has of reaching base. So they're going to go and send him. It's a 1-10 for a sacrifice fly. 11-20. He's out and the inning's over. And he's out and the inning's over. So Toglia flies to right, and then Goodman is out 9-2 on the throw from Tatis for a double play. And that'll do it. So Morejon came in and stomped the rally about as quick as you can, threw one pitch and got 2 outs. So we go to the 8th inning, and all of a sudden it's a semi-ball game again. It's 9-7. And the Rockies will need a new pitcher. And let's see who they go to. They will go to Jake Bird. Bird can go 2 innings if need be. He's a -2 on his hold. So Bird will be facing Arias, Machado, and Merrill. Arias 3 for 3. I'm sorry, 4 for 4, all singles. 4-5, and this time Bird strikes him out. 1 away for Manny Machado. That is a 5-10. That's a fly to center, 2 down for Jackson Merrill. That is a 6-7 lefty, and that's a ground ball second base. Amador is a 4E14. 4-17 is good. E14. 15, 16, and 18. Got to avoid those. And he does. So Merrill makes rounds out to Amador to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Jake Bird. He will pitch the 9th as well. Now Morejon will come back out. He only faced 1 batter, so he's going to come back out. Face Moniak, and we'll probably get a pinch hitter for Martini when his time comes around. In fact, Sean Bouchard has already picked up a bat and will hit. Sean Bouchard. And Bouchard will stay in the game as a DH to replace Martini. So it's going to be Moniak, Farmer, and Bouchard here in the bottom of the 8th. So Bouchard will take over as the DH. But first, it's Moniak and Farmer due up against Morejon. And move this over just a tad, or maybe even go backspace 1 to make sure everything fits. Looks like it still is right there. Okay. Morejon to Moniak. And that's a 5-4, and that's a ballpark single check. So again, 1-19. And Colorado Coors Field produces another hit. With that +4, Moniak's going to look to try to get a lead. That's a 2. Possible balk on Morejon, but he's a 0 balk. He cannot balk. So Moniak cannot get the lead either. So he stays at first, and here's Kyle Farmer. 4-7, and that's a strikeout for Morejon. His first, and now the pinch hitter, Sean Bouchard, stepping to the plate. 4-6, and that is a fly to left, 2 down. And now it's up to Amador. Switch hitter will bat right-handed. That's a 5-8, and that's a fly to center. That'll do it. So Morejon will go in an inning and 2/3. And he gave up a hit, nothing else with a strikeout. So as quickly as Reynolds put him in a jam, Morejon got him out of a jam. And now their closer for the Padres, Robert Suarez, is loosening in the bullpen to come in the 9th inning. It is a save situation unless they score a bunch of runs in the 9th. It's 9-7. So we are looking at Suarez, most definitely. Top of the 9th, Padres looking for some insurance runs. Maybe I need to find I need to find an insurance agency to sponsor the insurance runs. Maybe. I don't know. Not one of the big boys, but maybe some obscure one. I don't know. All right, here is Xander Bogaerts against Bird. 2-8, and that is a pop out to third. Handled by McMahon, 1 away. That'll bring up Jake Cronenworth. 3-11, and he's going to ground it to third. So again, McMahon makes the play. 2 down for Gavin Sheets, designated hitter. 2 for 4 with a home run. Whoa, that thing got popped out of there. Let's try it again. 3-8, and that's a pop out to third. So talking about popping out. That's a pop out to all these hits in column 3, and he found the pop out to third on the 3-8. So Jake Bird's going to go 2 innings. So the bullpen did very, very well for the Rockies. I'm not sure if it's going to be a wasted effort, because if they don't come back and score, it's going to end up being a wasted effort. But at least it showed some gumption, I guess, for lack of a better term. At least it makes the Padres use their closer in game 1. Maybe he won't be available in game 2 if it's close. I don't know. Robert Suarez, 4-6 at 2.97 ERA and 40 saves in the 2025 season for Mr. Suarez. And he is a -1 hole, which makes him a +1. And he'll be facing the top of the order, Doyle, Beck, and McMahon here in the 9th. Doyle, Beck, and McMahon. 5-10, and that's a fly to center. Hauled in out there by Merrill, 1 away for Jordan Beck. 6-5, that's a strikeout for Suarez. 2 down, and here's McMahon. 1-10 for McMahon. That's a base hit on a 1-10. 11-20, the game's over on a ground ball. And that's the ball game. Ground ball to Bogarts, and that's going to end up doing it. Suarez goes 1-2-3 in the 9th to secure the victory. The save goes to Suarez, the win to Vasquez, the loss to Sensatella. And we'll get the totals on this one. For the Padres, 9 runs. They do it on 10 hits and 2 errors. For the Rockies, 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. They dropped to 14-24, which is still a +8 compared to their actual record. So we're still at a +8 in the replay. Looking ahead to tomorrow's game in this matchup, the most devastating game of the season is what's coming up for the Rockies. This was a game, the next game played May the 10th, Saturday, May the 10th, was a 21-0 game between the Rockies and the Padres. 21-0 was the score in that. So we'll see how it plays out. Kolek will start for the Padres, and he pitched a complete game. Blaylock went 3 2/3 and gave up 12 runs. It's kind of, there you go. 3 2/3 innings, gave up 12 runs. Jacob Stallings, the catcher, actually ended up pitching 2 innings in relief just to save the bullpen. So we'll see how that game plays out tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning, we'll be back in the 1987 replay for the Kansas City Royals taking on the Cleveland Indians. That'll be Brett Saberhagen against Steve Carlton. A game Cleveland actually won real world 9-7. That'll be the next game in the 1987 replay. So thank you all for spending part of your Tuesday night with me through the Rockies replay. They've gotten into a bit of a tailspin, and they've lost at least 4 in a row now that I know of, because they lost the all 3 to Detroit and now the first game to San Diego. So they need to try to pick up the pace here, and their starting pitchers are putting them so much in a hole that even the bullpen, the bullpen pitched well, 6 innings in the bullpen pitching, only 5 hits and 2 runs, and none of those were earned. That was the 2-base error by Moniak, or else they'd have shutout relief here. But damage was done early, and then San Diego just cruised from there. So they couldn't quite make their 13-9 score, but 9-7 is pretty reasonable, I would think. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your evening, whatever you have planned. And until next time, Enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.